Hello, welcome here. I'm so glad you stopped by for today's video. It is going to be a good one. We are going to chat all about motherhood, and in particular, motherhood as a career. Furnace just came on. I'm getting a little toasty already. So I've been a stay-at-home mom for the past 2 years, and something I've noticed is that motherhood, or like staying at home with your kids, is often treated as like less than. Having a career is often seen as more fulfilling or a higher calling than just being at home and staying with your kids. Well, my friends, I'm here to shake things up a little bit and tell you that that is simply not true. Are you ready for a new perspective on being a mom? Good. Then let's chat on motherhood as a career. I was planning to do this video while my kids were napping, but it looks like this little one woke up just in time to join me, eh? I remember hearing someone ask a family member of mine, I think I was pregnant or I had just had my son. I have 2 kids. I have a 2-year-old, and then Esme, she's our little baby girl. She's almost 9 months. And someone asked a family member of mine why I was having kids instead of going out and having a career. I've always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. That's something that's just always been in my heart, something I've always wanted to do. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, and that probably influenced my choice a little bit. I loved the fact that she was always home with us. Really, that used to be the norm. The women used to be the ones who were at home with the kids, raising them, running the household, while the men were out having the careers and bringing in the money for the family. Over time, it started to be seen as oppressive for the women, that women should have the opportunity to go out and have a career and make a name for herself. And so we've kind of started to shift away from the whole stay-at-home mom thing, and we've started to see a lot more women going out and having careers. We kind of focus on our careers now, and then when we have kids, we'll take a couple weeks or a couple months, depending on your maternity leave, how that is. And then we go right back to it again. Now, I have nothing against women who want to have a career. I totally understand that, and wanting to make a difference. And there's nothing wrong with women wanting to have a career. And in some cases, it is necessary. Life is getting so expensive, and a lot of times, just the families, they need both parents to be out working to be able to bring in enough money for them to be able to make it. So often now, having a career is seen as so much more valuable than raising kids. But what if motherhood was just as much of a career as any other job out there? We have the responsibility of raising up the next generation, and saying that that is of less value, that's just not right. There are really not a lot of jobs that require you to be available 24/7 at any given hour of the night, with no option of sleeping in, no sick leave, and very limited vacation. And yet that's what motherhood is. We have to be there for our kids all the time, any hour of the night, especially like with newborns. If we're breastfeeding, then we are up so much in the night. If you have other kids, you don't really have the option of sleeping in late to catch up on sleep. You got to be there for your toddler. If everyone's sick and so are you kind of still have to keep things going. You don't really get that break. But I find that so often, like, I don't even treat being a mom as if it has much value. Someone will ask me, so what is it that you do? And I'll say, oh, I'm just a mom. All the things I have to do in a day, doing laundry, changing diapers, entertaining the kids, keeping on top of cleaning, all that stuff, it may seem so mundane, but it all has to get done, and it's all important. Especially like training your kids, raising them up, that is a huge job, a huge responsibility, and it is so important because it's what's going to impact them for the rest of their lives. The way you raise them now is going to affect them when they're adults, and it is a huge job. But if I treat like what I do as not very important, no one else is going to really see it as important either. So it kind of has to start with me treating my job as if it's important. When someone asks me, oh, so what do you do? And I say, oh, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I love my job. My kids are so much fun. They make me laugh so much. I'm learning so much about running a house well, treating it as if it is important and not just, oh, I'm just a mom, like as if it doesn't really have any value. Now, if we're gonna say that motherhood is a career and it is important, then we kind of also have to treat it like it is. Not in just like talking about it, but in how we mother and how we spend our time at home as a stay-at-home mom. There are like so many memes and quotes about moms who are like, my kids are wearing the same thing they've worn for 4 days in a row. I've been giving them microwave meals all day, and I've got a mile high of laundry, and I haven't washed my hair in weeks. Would we ever really talk about a job that way? Kind of like bragging about how little we're doing and how little we're trying, and being proud of how we're not doing that well? That is not the way a lot of us would talk about a job or treat a job. Maybe some people would, but if you're going to treat a job that way, then you don't really have a lot of aspirations of getting where in life. That may seem kind of harsh, but it's just kind of true. If you really want to succeed at your job and climb the ladder, you gotta give it your best. And the same goes with motherhood. If you want to leave a lasting legacy and really impact your kids, it's about giving your best and not just slacking off, being lazy about it and bragging about how you're not doing that well. Now, I will be the first one to say that I am not perfect when it comes to being a mom or staying on top of everything in my house. There is laundry on the floor in front of the camera right now. I've got a pile of dishes back there that need to be done. There are diapers sitting in the laundry that need to be stuffed. I am nowhere near perfect when it comes to any of this. And it's not about me saying, oh, I'm doing so well, you need to do better too. No, no, no. This is about me saying, hey, this is something I've learned. I want to share it with you. Let's both encourage each other and try together to do better at being a mom and being a stay-at-home mom. And there is nothing wrong with having a bad day and falling behind, because it happens. We all have those days. We're just feeling down, or like the postpartum hormones, those are totally a thing. And the newborn age is really rough. There are stages where it is totally okay to let things slide. And there are rough days where we just don't get to everything on the list and where things start to fall apart a little bit. And sometimes it's weeks where just we have a whole week or two where things just aren't going that great. And it's not about doing it perfectly. It is not about being on top of it and always having everything together. Your kids always in freshly clean clothes and having all the dishes done all the time and always having your hair washed and always giving them full-blown meals 3 times a day. That is not what it's all about. It is just about doing your best. That's it. Plain and simple. Doing your best. And if you fail, which I fail all the time. There are days when I totally mess up, but I pick myself back up and I say, I'm gonna try and do better next time. That is what's important, and that is totally worth cheering for each other and giving each other a pat on the back and saying, you got it, girl. Instead of like cheering each other that our houses are a mess and we haven't done laundry in like 2 weeks and we fed our kid pizza pops for 3 dinners in a row. The other change we need to have in how we see motherhood is we need to see that our children are a blessing. Yes, motherhood can be hard. Dealing with toddlers is not easy. It's a really challenging stage. Dealing with teenagers isn't easy. Dealing with crying, screaming babies is not easy. That's no excuse for us to tear our kids down and treat them as if they are such a burden for us, keeping us from living to our full potential. I 100% struggle with complaining sometimes. It's something I am constantly trying to work on, and I am nowhere near perfect at it, but I am aware of it and I am trying trying to fix it. I know I'm never going to be able to fix it on my own. It's something that's going to take a lot of prayer, and something that's just going to take God just really working on my heart to get me there. But it is something that I am trying to work on with his help. I don't want to like shame anyone for complaining about your kids, because I totally get it. But we need to see our kids as a blessing and a gift instead of just these monsters that are running and ruining our lives. The way you treat them and the way you talk about them, they hear that, they see that. You as their mom, you should be their number one fan. And if you don't think they're worth it, you don't believe in them, they're not gonna believe in themselves either. They're not gonna think they're worth it. And that can really have a big impact on a child. Who knows what your kid will be and what they will do in the future. And if you're a mom who is supporting them, telling them you believe in them and that they can accomplish their dreams, then, you know, they will want to just go for it. They will want to reach for the stars. But if you're telling them that they're not worth it, that they are nothing, they're not going to want to even try, because if you don't think they can do it, they're not going to think they can do it. Whew, okay, that was a really deep conversation, but I hope you found some encouragement in it, especially if you are a stay-at-home mom. Just know that what you do has value. It is so important. It is not a waste. You have the chance to really impact these little lives and to really pour into them. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. If there is someone who is just really feeding into your life that what you're doing is a waste of time or unimportant, just don't listen to that. Don't let them have a say in that part of your life. Don't let them speak into it, because it is a total lie. What society is saying about motherhood, that it is of little to no value and that children are just a burden to us, it's not true. Motherhood is so fulfilling. Children are the biggest blessing. I love my kids so much. Yes, they can be very difficult some days. Honestly, they just bring so much joy to my life, and I have learned so much from my kids. I am a better person because of my kids. I am more patient. I am less selfish. I hope this video was an encouragement to you. Maybe it gave you a little bit of a different perspective on motherhood. If it did, then let me know in the comments. You can follow me on Instagram and send me a DM. I would love to hear from you guys, to interact with you, to subscribe to my channel if you want to see future videos from me, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Bye.